Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray, Skip Bayless, and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal to the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket, put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But guess what? We're broadcasting all over the world. And we got two unique platforms that we doing it live on YouTube Live, and we doing it on Facebook Live, simultaneously. But I got to share some, Jimmy, with the people. Tyandra Holmes was the first lady. It's Women Rock Wednesday. First of all, it's Women Rock Wednesday. Let's shout out to all the women all over the world. And Jimmy, we are in a real challenge right now, and we're going to get through this. It's difficult. It's not easy. Post 9/11, Jimmy, if you remember, was a difficult time, and not just for months, but for years. You know, we had to change the way we go to the airports and how we're screened at the airports. But one thing I learned, why I said we're going to get through this, Jimmy, I saw some yesterday. Saw some yesterday. It got me, and I want to share with the people. What's up, Rod Wells? I saw something this morning where New Yorkers, 40,000 retired nurses, doctors, and medical personnel, and 40,000 people in New York that were retired, ladies and gentlemen, and they signed up to go back to work. If that's not America, I don't know what is. This is why I said, Jimmy, we're going to get through this. I remember watching, Jimmy, this movie, the movie Pearl Harbor, and Alex Baldwin's character was a Navy pilot. He was talking to his side. A guy was on, a guy under his command. He said, the reason we're going to win this war, he said, those two guys right there. He said, never underestimate the heart of a volunteer. And I'll never forget that, Jimmy. Through all the year, through all out the year, we've been divided all year long. Politics, red and blue, Democrats, Republicans. I have no idea who those 40,000 people voted for, Jimmy, or which way they politically leaned. Ideologically to the left or the right. But 40,000 New Yorkers who were retired, maybe many of them in their 60s and their 70s or older, said, sign me up. I want a part of this. That's why I love New York. I see why my son want to live up there. That's why I love it. We're divided often, but once a crisis hit, it's amazing to watch. Then I found out, Jimmy, hey, Anissa Ville, second lady on Women Rock Wednesday. Jimmy, there are 50 companies in America that produce alcohol. Okay? 50 companies.
Legally?
No, yeah, I'm talking about the alcohol, not the drinking alcohol. I'm talking about rubbing.
Okay.
50 companies, right? They have all decided they're going to produce hand sanitizers. We got car companies that are creating ventilators. This is what America does, y'all. Yeah, we argue. Yeah, me and you argue. But guess what? In a crisis, I know you know I'm there. And I know you there. People rally around each other, man. And that's how I see that we gonna beat this crisis. Welcome to Women Rock Wednesday. Got a lot of women topics today. But Jimmy, what else you got? I just had to talk about that this morning. And if the people who just getting on didn't hear it, go back to the show later and then go back and hear it from the beginning. What you got, Jimmy?
Oh, man, got a lot we're going to cover. Women Rock Wednesday. Shout out to all the ladies out there. Make sure you share the show right now. This is the time with your timelines and your friends. Speaking of Women Rock Wednesday, I'll give a shout out at the end of yesterday's show. I shared with you guys the intel on a person in my family who is still waiting the results. Takes up there, the test that she took is going to take 3 days. So has all of the symptoms or had the symptoms associated with the COVID-19. Right? So, and that person in my family is my eldest sister. So my mom's firstborn, Giselle Hicks, is up in Shreveport in the hospital and got to stay there. I spoke with her last night. You know, nobody can't go in. So, you know, my folks get in the hospital. We pros normally. We pros. It ain't nothing that we can't smoke up in that hospital. We taking blankets. We taking for people whoever want to stay the night. We got pillows. We got our own little cooler. We take with the little. We pros. We take somebody gonna bring a laptop or an iPad so they can watch the Netflix. But this time, you can't take nothing because you can't get in. And then, so I say, my sister say, well, Giselle, you know, you can't get nothing, you know. She the type don't really like watching a lot of. She can't sit still enough to watch a movie like that. She don't do a lot of TV watching. She gonna be on that phone. So her cell phone went dead, and she can't even get her cell phone. You follow me? So you can't get in touch with her. You gotta call into the hospital, and they have to go and answer, or you know whatever, all that. But anyway, shout out, my sister is. She had, we're expecting a pop. She had 104 degrees fever night before last. So that fever has broken when I spoke to her yesterday. So she was in, you know, but no appetite, zero appetite. So it explains how people can rapidly lose weight, you know, as a result of that. And so but ain't nothing. It was like, somebody asked me, when you go up there, you gonna go? What the hell am I going up there and do right now? Okay, go to her house. That means if she has it, that means something in the house is contaminated. No, because somebody has to
They
clean that
just
house.
don't understand. I just told you about what happened to me last week. He tried to get my son to come down here from New York to go to. We understand. People just don't understand to go to a funeral. People mad because I said no. He's not gonna get on no plane. I said blame me. I'll be the fall guy. I'll be the fall guy. Yes, it's a funeral. Yes, but people going a young man. You know what I told him? Don't you bring that death down here to this funeral because we don't know what's going on in New York. You know, we don't know what's going on. He comes in contact with a lot of people. We don't know. So if people don't understand, Jimmy, I brought something for you today. Jim, look at me. In case my hair get too bad, I brought something for you, boy.
No, you gotta tip that joker to the side. There you go. There you go.
Man, hold up.
There you go. You gotta, that's a little tilt.
That's a little tilt. Okay.
That way a person know it ain't even. And the person come tell you your head ain't even. There's a little tilt. There you go.
Hold on, Jim. I got more than one.
No, you say that one for tomorrow.
No, I ain't gonna never wear it no more. No, but no, but it just what you got? Jimmy, let me stop. It's Women Rock Wednesday. Tyandra Holmes, Anissa Ville, Jessica Brooks, Lori Dotson, and Mindy Collins were our starting five today. I'm gonna give those ladies a shout out. I'm not gonna wait to the end. I'm gonna give those ladies a shout out right now. And also popped up on the lead feed after them was Cindy Laura. So Cindy, I saw you, but those ladies just got there a little bit quicker. So Jimmy, where were you going?
So, and I just wanted to, remind you guys on that. Then also my middle sister was in Shreveport, ironically she hadn't yet to go and make it her way over to my sister's house while she was in town. And guess what? And so my sister had to rush to the hospital. So my sister missed her. Normally she's going to go by there. They'll get a hug in. And then guess what? That's the case. Then my other sister would have been in the hospital. But no matter what, my elder sister had to stay there for 14 days, which she has 12 days left. That's no matter what the test is. She's going to stay there for 14 days. The results should come in either tonight, probably in the morning. Those doctors normally make their rounds in that first shift early in the morning, about 6, 7 o'clock. Now, before my other middle sister came back to H-Town, she stopped, and you stop and you gas up right by the airport, Monkhouse Drive. There's a couple of gas stations and a couple of hotels in Shreveport on I-20. And she stopped at the station. And guess how much the gas at that station is? Guys, ain't this amazing? That a lot of the gas stations hadn't reloaded, hadn't re-upped. So that means that's still in what's in the tanks underground. And yet, the prices has plummeted. The lowest crude in 21 years.
That's 139 right there, Jimmy. I got it on the screen.
She gassed up and filled her tank for $19 and some change.
What?
$1.39. Understand, that ain't Valero. That ain't the Kona stove. That's Exxon.
And she took a picture of it, I see.
If you could think about it. So if they can give us gas for this cheap. Now, and that's in Shreveport, Louisiana, guys. Now, I did find...
That don't mean you're going to always get it that cheap.
No, but I'm saying, but they could.
No, they...
That means...
Jimmy, it's business. You remember what you said? It's business. It's business. You. In other words, Jimmy, sometimes if you done charge so much, it's possible sometimes to give them a sale.
But Hal, understand something. If you're selling it for $1.39, that means you had to get it for at least $1 a gallon.
They ain't taking a loss right now. How do you know they don't have a glutton of it right now? How do you know they don't have a surplus right now?
There's no such thing. Think about it. As people stocked up on toilet paper, people also filled their tanks. because the fear of the unknown, most people have filled their tanks in the past 7 days. Most. Because you ready to roll if something don't get right and there's, whatever. You didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen in each city as far as
We never know. They ain't going to announce it. We never know. They won't announce it.
And so I just wanted to share that with y'all. What's going on? I see Mr. Katie has joined us. I see also B. Scott in the house, Women Rock Wednesday. And she said she saw 159 in Houston. I saw 159 as well. On Homestead, there's an Exxon. At Homestead and Weaver Road in Homestead, 159. Now, that station, I caution you because one time before all of this madness, they just built that Exxon last year. And I went there about 3 months ago during the holidays, and they had like a price on the meter, on the billboard. But when you got there, when you roll up to the thing, it was a different price. And so that station, I gotta wait till I see it again on that. But if you got Gary Carter, 127 in Southport, give us the intersection, guys, or the station. Somebody that's watching the Chop Shop may be able to go and save.
You just can't be driving around just to be driving around right now.
No. If you can go get gas, Hal. Gas stations are open. They're essential.
Yeah,
they're essential.
But it ain't essential that you go get it for $1.27.
Yeah, if you lived in that area, yes, it is. But my mama back in the day, she'd drive all over town just to save a nickel.
Hey, Costco 155. Which one?
Which one, guys? We got to help each other out.
And Gary said Costco, that would mean all of them. But Gary Carter came back and said Scott and Cullen.
Scott and Cullen. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. You guys, 139. Unleaded, that's regular unleaded, we're assuming, guys. So now you got super. Don't get mad. You roll up there, it's gonna be a little high.
Yeah. But I got something, Jimmy. I got a Women Rock Wednesday fact. I appreciate the achievements. I think it was Women's Month. But I appreciate the achievements, Jimmy, because I didn't know about this lady named Jane Bolin. You ever heard of Jane Bolin? Bolin? Let me help you. The first Black woman to serve as a judge in the United States. For 20 years, she was the only female judge of African American descent in this country, from 1939 into 1959. She was also an activist for children's rights to ensure racial integrated child services. Discovering Women Making History this month. And I didn't know about her, Jimmy. So I wanted to talk about her, but then, and I got another woman I want to talk about. Sheryl Swoopes. Happy birthday to her today. Sheryl Swoopes, Jimmy. And if people don't know, in case you've been on a rock for a lot of years, it's a 48th birthday to Sheryl Swoopes. Jimmy, 4-time WNBA champion, 3-time WNBA MVP, 6-time WNBA All-Star, 5-time All-WNBA first team, and 3-time Olympic gold medalist. Happy birthday to Sheryl. Shout out to her on this Women Rock Wednesday, Sheryl Swoopes. So, Jimmy, you done started this gas thing now. Everybody want to bring up some gas now.
Hey, man, the Chop Shop can save you money, man. That's what we helping each other out. That's how we do in these times. Everybody, the dollar needs to be stepped on a little bit. We got to stretch that dollar a little bit.
Jimmy, stepped on. Come on, man. Stepped on. Come on, Bumpy Johnson. Stepped on. Come on, man. The dollar needs to be stretched a little farther today, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute. And they also are sharing airline tips. It seems like somebody said they bought tickets, 2 for $40 total to fly somewhere. Guys, this is.
I'm not flying. Y'all can fly all y'all want. I'll holler at y'all when y'all get back.
Well, the airlines of the airports. I know one airport is talking about shutting down.
Not in Houston?
No, not in Houston.
Okay.
Not in Houston. Mm-hmm. And it was an employee of the airport because they need to take one good whack and fumigate, disinfect. I almost said fumigate.
Jimmy, it's Women Rock Wednesday, right? Anissa,
Yeah.
you know she always, I love her. She said, ladies, have y'all watched Self-Made by Madam C.J. Walker? I watched that movie a couple of times. First of all, I wanted to watch the movie because Jimmy, you know how I am. The executive producers happen to be LeBron James and Maverick Carter. And I saw something yesterday, Anissa, about that movie. When LeBron went and shopped that movie to Netflix, he advocated for what's the lady name? Not about what's her name? Y'all help me with the guy, Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer, who is the lead actress in the movie, who played Madam C.J. Walker. He advocated her to get more paid than normal. Her and the other lead character in the film, Jimmy. He advocated for them to get more than scale. They always talked about women getting less than men in the movies, and she played opposite Blair Underwood. He did a great job. Jimmy, did you see the movie? Matter, because you've been working on your other movie.
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
Oh,
that's
man.
on my
You know what? I loved it because I love the costumes. I love the period. I love the period pieces, and I love those period movies, how they're set back. Great, great, great woman. I read about her a long time ago about the hair product, but they brought out some different things about her in the movie. Anissa, yes, I saw it. Great movie. And I want some of the other women to comment about that movie. Tell me what y'all thought about it. What else you got, Jim?
Yeah, no, I was just looking at. I'm reading looking at the Boom Boom Room.
Oh, okay.
And of course, Stephen Wood say they're talking about buying stock. Slim McDaniel say he works for Halliburton. Like, man, buys all. We talked about it earlier. All that happened with, like you said, it's everything in the economy is driven on supply and demand, and earnings meet versus estimates, and or estimates versus the actual earnings. I mean, buy the rumor, sell the fact. So in this situation, obviously, the oil industry, you should not feel sorry for none of them, because that means we've been getting them. They've been doing a hell of a markup on those gallons for them to go down now. Now, meanwhile, there's a surplus of crude around the globe, a surplus, and a lot of refineries. I just read up have cut production in Texas and in Louisiana exclusively. I mean, not limited to just Texas and Louisiana, but we're talking about that area which a lot of us that are viewing are either from or reside in right now. And that's one of the things. The global demand is plunging. Remember, the global demand is plunging because everybody has more. So that means you try to mark it down, because if you hurry up and get rid of what you got, it's like anything in hustling, one-on-one. If you bought them for $2 a gallon and you find out that the market is plunging, that means your supplier is selling them right now probably for $1 a gallon. I need to hurry up and get rid of what I got so I can re-up and fill these tanks up again at $1 a gallon. That way now I'm good. When it goes back up, I'm gonna double my margins. So that's what you see going on in the oil industry. And another thing that I'm gonna share. I mean, this stuff is. I laugh sometimes. I haven't been able to spend that much time on social media, but I saw a tweet. Normally, you have the tweets, and this is a hell of an economic common sense mailbag. Speaking of not feeling sorry, right? The hospitals, because in this proposed stimulus package, the hospitals are one of corporate companies, corporate America. They're like fifth, sixth, or near the bottom of the totem pole for the money the assistance that they can receive, like 130 billion. And so now, here's the deal. Check this out. I'm gonna read this. It said the irony of hospital CEOs complaining about the 50-cent mask being sold for $7 after they built an entire career selling 50-cent bags of saline for $500. it's almost like hyperinflating life-saving costs of profit should be illegal. I mean, that's the thing. So sometimes it makes you feel sorry for certain industries. The hospital industry, the medical industry is one industry that I would never feel sorry for or sympathetic for no time soon. Not saying it can't happen, but I was sitting there when my mom had to go through her last months back in 2011, and she passed away January 31st, 2012. And I'm watching every hospital visit, how when we would go in and have to sit in for a week or so. And you know, I learned how the insurance thing worked. They want to keep you up for 21 days. That's the magic number, because that's the most that they can get out of each person at one time is 21 days of insurance money. So they were tapping in. Then when I realized what was going on, you get a nurse that kind of put you on game. Then they're giving you, when you go home with a goodie bag of all of the same stuff that you got from the last visit that you don't even need when you get home, because you already got 3-4 different items of like. Guys, if you're in that situation, just wake up, ask questions. You don't have to receive some of the stuff that they're giving you to take home. You don't have to receive some of the stuff they're going to give her during her stay there. You don't have to. You can decline that. Now, if they want to cut you in on the profits, which they ain't, and gap you down, then guess what? It ain't come out your pocket if you have good insurance. But I'm not gonna let you rob the insurance company like that, because they send you an itemized statement. When mom I never did read her statements like that. And I'm reading all the stuff the insurance company paid for, and I'm looking how much this stuff costs. And I'm like, wow, damn socks. The socks, hell, it was $40 for some socks. The gown. Hell, we bring our robe from home. Just little bitty things like that. Just make sure I never feel sorry for the medical industry. Let's get on. Let's talk what else you got over there? And what's say $5 for aspirin? Yeah, for one aspirin.
Yeah. And Jimmy, a few comments in there. Gary Carter, he said he looking at Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois a lot different now. Gary, I want to know why you're looking at them different. Always remember, man, when people do movies, they're not always historical fact in the movies. They have screenwriters who try to make the movie spicy by doing little things. They had so watch how you characterize. You say you have different respect for W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, because you saw one movie and these guys got a history of things they're doing great, and you saw somebody in a movie came and depict them in a certain way. We have to watch that, ladies and gentlemen. And Gary, you're a bright young man, so I always tell you, always remember, movies is fantasy. Movies, I've been around them a lot. They try to make things different in the movies. Even the movie The Banker, it's got this different historical facts. But when you're doing a movie, you try to make things spicy. You try to make things a little bit watchable. And so it's in the movies, it's fantasy world. Hollywood is fantasy world. So don't let what they say, just don't let what they say or the movie depict you of those two great men. Those were two great men, and that did a lot of great things for our people. Don't let a movie change your opinion on it. That's just my opinion.
Oh man, I got another.
Okay.
I guess from just being, back in the young days, some cities had, Piccadillys, some cities had Wyatts, and other cities had Luby's. Back in those days, and those were like, you went there. If grandmama took me over there, mama took me there, that was a special day. It just was a different type of eating that you were used to when you were a little boy. Well, Luby's, how about this? They furloughed most of their corporate staff and cut the salaries in half of a lot of the employees. So this is a newest hit. This, and also another story, the scammers. It's scam season right now. They coming. They gonna try you. And they've hit Walmart already, but they've gotten hit with some indictments. And
what you mean?
Guys posing as corporate Walmart employees were going around about 30 different Walmarts nationwide and had some of the checks that was fake checks, and they were posing as corporate and attempt to cash some of the checks right then. And they were smashing the checks right in the Walmart stores. They got away with $900 grand is what they've charged them. But that's some of the things. Let's talk.
Did you want to talk? You want me to tell you who were the top chatterers yesterday?
Yeah, we got to get at it.
Hey, Jimmy, yesterday was kind of mild.
Really?
Yes. They didn't chat enough unless the analytics didn't pick it up. Yesterday was the 24th, right? This was the analytics from yesterday. Todd Holmes had 28 chats. Kevin Freitman had 26. Clarence Harris had 19, and Trey Phillips had 15. That was a very, very low chat day yesterday. You remember? I don't know if you remember. I told you they were listening. We had Mo Elrod and that kid on there. A lot of people were listening instead of chatting yesterday. They were listening. I brought it up at the end of the show. If you remember, I said nobody's chatting. So that probably what happened yesterday. But it's cool because they chatting up a storm right now. So it's all good.
Yeah. And so now in the sporting world, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, over in China, they were expected to be the first in line to go back as far as the professional leagues to go back playing, as far as the significant ones. So they announced they were going to go back playing April the 15th. And they summoned all of the players back to China to resume practices for the April 15th. Got to get back in shape, whatnot. Kind of like a mini training camp again, get everybody right back. Well, they delayed it after the news came about the Olympics being postponed to 2021. Tokyo did not want to postpone those Olympics, guys.
$2.5 billion loss estimated.
Yeah, from the public. They had raised $5 billion from the private sector.
No. I'm talking about they estimate to lose.
Yeah. I'm saying they're going to lose that much from taxpayer dollars.
Okay.
That's about 2 point something. Mm-hmm. And so now, meanwhile, who's going to foot the cost all the way going to a year from now? But the Chinese Basketball Association has delayed the start of the resuming of their season once again until May, from April the 15th.
Let me add a little bit, Jimmy. So you said Japanese league, it started and it failed. They tried to start it.
Yeah, they had one start
last weekend, right? So then I was looking into Korean league because they play pretty good over there at Korea too, Jim. The Korean league was supposed to start this weekend coming up, Jimmy, and they have shelved their whole season. Okay? They shelved the whole season. The Chinese league, which called all the foreign players back with the intention of starting in April, has been pushed back to May. Now, let me show y'all something now. That is a 4-month hiatus then. Because you remember, end of January is when they stop. So the reason I say that is because I think about the United States and the NBA. And what the Japanese and the Chinese league was saying, Jimmy, they said they have to create a bubble. Hold up. They have to create a bubble that players, referees, officials, trainers, coaches can be comfortable with operating a bubble, and they haven't been able to do it yet. And that's what the NBA is planning on doing, Jimmy. But guess what I found? This is me. I'm an optimist. I saw Mark Cuban on late last night. I think the reason the NBA have a chance to me, Jimmy, I'm gonna give y'all something. Y'all think about this. Is that their biggest brand, the Lakers, and their biggest brand, personal brand, LeBron, is still involved. They got to get this year in, Jimmy, some kind of way, right? You got to realize all is well with the country when the Yankees are winning and the Lakers were winning. All is well with the country. I'll give you an example. LeBron's first title in Miami, right? We never discredit him for that first title, right? Nobody said nothing about it. Did y'all remember? Did y'all know that was a shortened season that year? But we never talk about it. We never bring it up. It was a shortened season. His first championship in Miami. Why? Because the last image was we love D Wade. We were so happy for LeBron. We like Chris Bosh. We forgot about the shortened season, boom, boom, room. And we never once held that against LeBron or D Wade. Have you ever said one of them championships? I ain't never heard y'all say one of them championships, strike shortened season. You just remember you remember the movie Usual Suspects, and everybody talking about it was a great movie. But Jimmy, it was a terrible movie up until the end. Boring up until the end. Whenever there's a crisis, Jimmy, what the NBA I would do, I'll go back to basics. I'll never forget Apple. Apple was about 2 to 3 months from bankruptcy, Jimmy. And they called Steve Jobs back. And what did he do? He slashed 70% of Apple's products. The stuff that was new, niche, cool, all that cool stuff. You know what his motto was? We wanted to get back to the basics. Focus on simplicity. Talk about the NBA right now. The things that we know that the people need and love and are familiar with. In the NBA lockout, in this NBA thing, guess what their basics are? LeBron, the Lakers. When you come out of a crisis, Jimmy, we have to deliver to the public. Things they like, things they trust, things they know, simplicity and basics. I'm gonna take you here and I'm gonna give it back to you. Of the 11 highest rated games of the whole year, other than the Christmas games, the other 11 highest rated games of the year, all included the Los Angeles Lakers. So that's why I think it's important that the NBA get back. I'm sorry, Mike Lynn's on the. What's up, Mike? Mike. You know I'm gonna go deeper than the surface, man.
You better stop cursing Mike on there.
Okay. No, Mindy Collins on here. You need to stop that curse. That's the first lady. And you be up here cursing like a stove. Hey, Jimmy, we got to know our personnel on here. We got a first 11.
More NBA news. How about Mark Cuban? He proclaims and predicts that the NBA will resume action as early as mid-May. Now, albeit he does say that he didn't say with fans in there, but resume action with some games with limited fans in attendance. Maybe immediate family members only, or maybe those 4 tickets that each player may get. Maybe I don't know but without fans. Are you buying that or selling that? That's the question.
Hey, man, this season got to start, homeboy. This season got to start. I'm just telling you, that season got to start, Jimmy. And Jimmy, we got to take a look a break in 4 minutes. So I was just letting you know, I didn't feel like texting you.
now, of course, other NBA news. Well, first, I can buy that, and I'll explain to you why. Because by the time mid-May comes, that will be approximately 1 month after the Chinese Basketball Association will have projected to be started in their season. And all eyes were going to be on them because though that league has a lot of Americans playing in it, and also including about approximately a dozen former NBA players in that league as well. So they're closely monitoring that league because that's the money league for the NBA. The money territory, put it like that. Don't get this stuff twisted about how much money. The NBA is projected to lose $1 billion as a result this year, as a result of you combined with the Houston Rockets, Daryl Morey gate with his tweets back earlier in the season, in the preseason, combined with the COVID-19. $1 billion in losses. And you can rest assured that a lot of the streaming is like what you're watching right now in the Chop Shop. People is telling us every day we get emails and stuff. You guys were ahead of the curve. Just seeing how smooth this stuff running. And mind you,
hey, Stephen A be getting cut off, Jimmy, a lot. You remember I got the video of it.
Dude, remember, this was on the Shannon Sharpe and what's that? This was their first day on this week.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff is not easy to do. And matter of fact, I might have to come and do it. I did it only one time. And so you see, guys may see Haller. Haller's doing the Stevie Wonder. He's singing. He playing the piano. He might even play some bongo and the harmonica. But he can't see worth a damn. He doing Stevie Wonder over there. And so you guys understand self-taught. So I know how to you understand what I be saying. Sometimes I go on my soapbox.
Yeah, I know.
About publishing a magazine.
Yeah.
And people realize when you have went through this stuff self-trained pretty much.
Yeah.
Take some tips from here and there.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
You got to go and get some tech support here and there.
Yeah.
But no official certification in doing this stuff.
No.
This stuff ain't easy.
And Jimmy was nervous than a hook in church. When I first did it, I said, man, I can't do this.
While Pastor Mike preaching at Mindy Collins hook in church. On that Sunday.
Hey, Jimmy, somebody explain the D-Nice phenomenon to me. See, that's all I was looking for the other day.
I didn't go to the they explained it to me.
Somebody called me and said, Robert, this is what it is. Robert, people need a relief. You might not like music, but a lot of people, music is a lot of people's life. And guess what? They said Michelle Obama was on there. All the stuff. Everybody was on that thing at the same time. At that moment, it gave them a little relief. So thank you, y'all. Now I understand. I just didn't understand it. I appreciate it. But Jimmy, I got this little 30-second clip. I'm finna show for a commercial. Watch this. Check this out. All above all sports.
Clemson's. They roll Clemson under the bus.
We back, Jimmy. hey, shout out to Above All Sports and Brian Jolivet and his family. Go out to their website, aboveallsportshoops.com. And I just, one of our engineers made a video for them to put on the side. Hey, y'all, this thing is going to resume. We're going to start by playing basketball at some point. So I just want you to be up and be abreast on what's going on, what's going on in the world. So what you got, Jimmy? I know you got some more NBA.
Yeah, we got a little bit of
yeah, I got some.
In NBA. One is, of course, the Clippers owner.
Steve Ballmer.
Yeah. Steve Ballmer has agreed in principle to purchase the Forum, the longtime former home of the Los Angeles Lakers, which is used now as a concert venue primarily. He bought it for $400 million from MSG. And
Jimmy, you know who MSG is, huh?
That's the owner of the New York Knicks.
That's James Dolan.
Dolan owned that place.
And Jimmy,
the thing is, they were going over. They were squabbling because the plan was Ballmer was going to build his own place. Kind of like how in Houston you have the Astrodome and the Reliant is right next door on the same property. Well, Dolan was going to build another venue.
No, Ballmer.
I'm sorry, I say not Dolan. Ballmer was going to build another venue, but then Dolan and MSG went and tied him up in court. Somehow they had some stuff going on.
Jimmy, was a reason. Let me explain the reason. Okay, when Ballmer bought that property in Inglewood, about a mile and a half from the Forum, right? He bought it under his tech company. So it was like, he's a Microsoft guy. Mm-hmm. So it was under one of his tech LLCs. It's his tech LLCs, right? So and the reason he is doing that, because he knew it was stipulations with the city of Inglewood that Dolan didn't want nobody competing against the Forum. Okay? I mean, having another venue similar to the Forum, because that would make the Forum a new venue. Forum is 100 years old, make it obsolete. Let me explain something about the Forum to y'all again, right? Dolan won, and then I'm going to come back to that. He bought the Forum, Jimmy, for $22 million, $23.5 million. He put another $75 million in renovating it and sells it for $400 million. He gets 4 times his initial investment in 8 years. Hold up, in 8 years. The rich keep getting richer. So guess what? So when Dolan's lawyers, dug a little deeper, they said, hold on. Steve Ballmer, you can't do, no, this can't happen. You can't put another brand new venue a mile from my venue. That's going to it's rules against that. We got laws against that. And they tried to circumvent the system. So that's what happened. That's why Dolan was mad.
And then, so as a result, Ballmer had to back out of the driveway and go and rename the LLC.
There you go.
And rename the LLC, and then had to bow down and agree to buy this thing, because they tried to rename the LLC and still go back in under that way now up under that would circumvent that rule, and he still got face the wall in the legal system for doing so. So now you're running out of time.
Yeah, he just had to write that check.
And let's go on and buy this thing, and then we just renovate.
And Jimmy, you know what he did? No, they gonna tear that thing down.
They're gonna tear it down?
They gonna tear that thing down. It's gonna be obsolete, because guess what? The only reason he bought it, so he can build his own facility. He gonna make that something. Man, that thing is outdated, man. Jimmy, did you ever have the pleasure of going to the Lakers games at the Forum?
I went to one Laker game and I went to one concert at the Forum before.
Have you been in the Forum Club?
I was a little kid when I went to the Lakers.
Oh, you was a kid. Okay.
It was within the past 10 years when I went to a concert in LA there.
Jimmy, that's the most amazing structure. I can sit here and talk about it now, because I was out there a lot, because Robert Horry used to be out there. And Jimmy, I had access to the Forum Club because of Robert. not on my own because of Robert, and every star in the world. That's where they come and kind of have a drink, have dinner before they. If you used to watch the Lakers games, how y'all talking about ain't nobody sitting down in the seats because a lot of them were in the foreign club, a lot of them in the clubs. Then they coming down and see was the most magnificent. I mean, Tom Cruise. What's his wife? Long time ago, the skinny girl. Tom Cruise. Not this wife.
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. And when I saw her, Jimmy, I ain't gonna lie. I'm in there looking at him. Tom Cruise got a T-shirt. I'm dressed all up now. Tom Cruise got a T-shirt and some jeans on. Nicole Kidman had just one of them broadcloth, just a straight down dress. And I said, ain't dressed up. And Jimmy, I took a flight to Aruba. You know how you get off on the Aruba and you're going down the coast to go to the hotels? I looked over there and said, whose boat is that? He said, that's Tom Cruise's boat. I said, okay, he didn't spend money on his clothes. He spent money on that yacht out there, Jimmy. I'll never forget it. But I'm glad you brought that up. That was a great Inglewood, Jimmy. Let me tell you something. It's gentrification. If you got property over there in that area, boy, hold on to it. Cause Jimmy, go.
I mean, that's where my mom's brother lived in Inglewood, and his family for years. They still live in California. He's passed away.
Okay.
And it was a deal that after I want to say the earthquake, something happened in California. Was it the earthquake or the riots? The riots.
When?
It was the riots. After the riots, the Rodney King.
Okay.
After the riots, a lot of stuff got burnt up and got demolished.
They burnt up their own neighborhood.
Yeah, but there was a lot of stuff gone. A lot of people and a lot of the insurance companies wasn't covering and this and that under certain clauses. And so my uncle had came and needed a loan.
Kevin Freeman says his aunt lives. Hey Jimmy, that's where Lil Joni live. Lil Joni got a crib around there.
Lil Joni live in Inglewood?
Yes, sir.
Inglewood. I put it with an A. I put an A in there. Yeah, man. But that's it. It's definitely going to be a change of scenery as far as in the Inglewood area right there.
Hey, Jimmy, Martin Vaughn messing with us right now. Hey, Martin, get what he said, man. It looked like Stephen A. and Max Kellerman are modeling the Chop Shop. They arguing and loud back and forth and all. So when Jimmy and I are quiet like this, that means we are copying off somebody else? No, we just being ourselves. See, y'all can never accuse us of not being ourselves. That's what I learned when we first got in this bill. I talked to Jonathan Sprinkles. If y'all ever follow him, he's a connection coach. First thing he said, man, always be yourself. Don't you try to go out here and be nobody else. Be yourself, because guess what? Ain't but one of them. I said, okay, so that's it. What else, Jimmy? Hey, tell Freight to quit texting me while we're on the show, Jimmy. I'm going to let you tell him, because you know you don't like me to talk crazy to the guests.
He said, tell him to quit texting. You know, I was looking the other day, and in all likelihood, of course, this NBA, they're wrestling with a lot of different scenarios. But the scenarios, and you have to build these different scenarios based on various start dates. Trust me. So that means if the start date is, let's say, May the 15th, then they have a plan in place that for to finish the season based on that. If it's June the 1st, there's another model in place for that. If it's June the 15th, they have another one in place for that. So they have various, and that's the job. That's what you do is you do some preventive maintenance to put these mechanisms in place so that if and when the CDC or the WHO gives you the green light to proceed, then you're already ready to go. My point is this: the further they go out, then that means the less likely or the less amount of regular season games will be played. It's time to start the playoffs. So, like as they said, it's all likelihood they're probably going to start with the playoffs. So now, this means a lot of teams who was just lollygagging around, just well, we're gonna make our push. Look at our schedule. We got an easy part coming up. They're stuck in the seeds they're in, and say the Houston Rockets, which I really felt optimistic that the Houston Rockets were going to get out of that funk. They had lost a couple of games, and the small ball had kind of turned the tables against them. I felt they were going to get the 4 seed. I really felt that. They were only one game out of the 4 seed. Yeah. One game out. So I really felt, and of course, Utah has the 4 seed. The Rockets are the 6 seed, right? The 6 seed plays the 3 seed. Now, the good thing about that is that they was open up with the Denver Nuggets if the playoffs were to start, and they would just go like it is. And that means you would be on the side of the bracket opening with the Denver Nuggets, and you would play the winner of the Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers and Dallas Mavericks is a really tricky first round matchup, especially now. But at the same time, it works in favor of many teams because many teams like Dallas Mavericks now Luka can get all the way healthy, right? But at the same time, Paul George
can get healthy. Ben Simmons can get healthy.
Everybody gets healthy.
But Jimmy, guess what I saw that might be proposed?
What's that?
They're gonna cut out the first round. I'm just telling you, Rockets might be in trouble. Just the top 4 in each league, in each division. The Rockets might, that's how they might do it. The top 4.
That's one of the things on the table.
That's one of the things on the table.
But it'd be too much money to leave on the table.
Yeah.
Here's a counter for that. Yeah. The counter for that would be either that or trim the 7 games back down to 5.
Best out of 5.
And that would be the more logical because you get more bread.
Yeah.
You follow? You get more bread.
The owners get more bread.
Yes. Yeah, the owners get more bread, and we get more as followers of the game and fans out there, you get more satisfaction without bickering. Nobody's going to have a problem right now cutting a 7-game series to 5. Now, the championship will still be 7, but nobody is going to fret over, at this point, cutting the series. Now, you know why? Because everybody knows the rule going in. It's not like we're there and, oh, by the way, guys, it's not going to be a 7-game series. You pack too many clothes. No. Now it's down to business. So I think that would be now the thing. How about this though? Portland Trail Blazers won't make the playoffs. I say it again. Dame Lillard and McCollum, don't you pay attention? Dame Lillard started the season off. He started this season off on social media in a rap battle with Shaquille O'Neal. You see? And it seems like he's getting a pass. Pass because now you want to play and you want to rap.
Jamie, I'm going to give him a pass because I think it's not the big fella got hurt.
Whiteside?
Huh?
Whiteside?
No, not him. The other one. You remember it's Nurkic? When he was on the same team as Nurkic. What's the big fella's?
Talking about the foreigner?
Yeah, the foreigner.
Okay, yeah, I can't pronounce it.
I know Jimmy, they're a better team with him. They're a way better team with him.
Remember, they made the decision to cut to gut their chemistry. They made a trade with Sacramento, right? The Trailblazers. Then they cut Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood wasn't all that, but Rodney Hood was good for their chemistry. Then you brought in Carmelo, and Carmelo stole a lot of people's thunder initially, but now you guys hadn't heard Melo's name in a month.
No, Jimmy, he had been playing well. He'd been playing, but then Lillard got hurt. Then those is a part of the play. But if you are already in the 4 seed or the 5 seed or the 6 seed, then you're not down in the 9th seed. You know what I'm saying? They were fighting upward. Oh yes. I got you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means you didn't do what you're supposed to be doing. And then you come out and you sing at halftime of the All-Star game. You do a rap performance. So now everybody's good. And now you're not even making the playoffs, man. Sometimes, right? That's what I'm saying.
I'm just telling you. I mean,
You-
they would. I know they were talking about that. They said because they was telling me. They said, Robert, your Houston Rockets might be not because he said they ain't relevant no way. I mean, that was the people were telling me. I said, wow. I said, man, miss. I told them to miss me with that. Don't talk about the Houston Rockets. But it's gonna be unique, Jimmy. I think it's gonna be. Hey, I just hope. And Jimmy, let's go here, because I saw something heartfelt today. You know, I know your sister is having problems, and then I look at Karl Anthony Towns. He's a young man with a young mother. He's wealthy, and right now, none of that seems to matter. He said his mom has diagnosed with the coronavirus and is in a coma. If you think things are overblown, I'm just going to let you get a little of this. I don't want you to be crying, but I'm going to let everybody get a little of this video and just to check this out, man.
What's up, guys? Just something to update you on my life. Just can't sleep. Found the strength to do this video. You know, I think it's important that everyone understands the severity of what's happening in the world right now with this coronavirus. And I think where my life is right now could help. So I decided to do this video and just give you an update of where I'm at. So I was told early last week my parents weren't feeling well. My first reaction to her was to go seek medical attention immediately. There's no reason to wait. Just go to the nearest hospital. And after a couple of days of not getting and showing any signs of improvement, I was very adamant on the first day to go to a hospital and seek further evaluation. Specifically, me and my sister, I told her she needs to get checked for corona. I don't think anyone really understood what it was, with deteriorating condition. And, so she kept getting worse. And the hospital was doing everything they can. I was doing everything I could. Still am. And she just wasn't getting better. Her fever was never cutting from 103, maybe go down to 101.9 with the meds, and then immediately spike back up during the night. She was very uncomfortable. Her lungs were getting worse. Her cough was getting worse. She was deteriorating from her eyes. We always felt that the next medicine would help. The next one would help. This is the one that's going to get it done. This mixture is going to get it done. They released my dad with mandated quarantine to be at the house. He stood at the house for, he's still there today. But my mom wasn't allowed to leave. Both of them had got tests. Both of them didn't get the results, for a long time. And we all assumed my mom had COVID-19 due to just the symptoms she was exhibiting, and she was deteriorating daily. And
That's all. As far as I wanted to go, y'all. It was a 5-minute long. You can go pick it up. I just wanted to give y'all a little of Karl Anthony Towns, because every moment he was talking, I was it was getting to me. So I just wanted to. My prayers are out to him, his father, his family. He was visibly shaken, Jimmy, telling the story about his mom. His mom's name is Jackie, who's been in a coma and on a ventilator with COVID-19. You know, he says later her lungs were getting worse. She was having trouble breathing. She was confused. He said, my mother is the strongest woman I know. I know she'll beat this. And I just wanted to give y'all that. What's up, Derek Johnson, Steve Hayes? It's tough, man. It's surreal. Yes, man, that's how fragile this life is. It's no respecter of persons. I mean, rich, old, young. It's this is serious, you know. And every time I go back and I think about the letter a friend of mine wrote, Jimmy, from Italy, the letter, you know, it just touches me. It's just crazy, man. So Jimmy, what you got? We got a better note.
We're on the back nine right now on the Chop Shop, and we ask you guys to take out the time to hit the share button and share the show to your timelines and your friends. And we thank you in advance for doing so. And that's a way to help recirculate the word and introduce the Chop Shop to a lot of the people that follow you that may not even know that the Chop Shop exists. And we remember, you never know. A lot of things you're going to get. A lot of the people you're going to talk to may stop in. A lot of people that stop into the timeline and chime in. You never know who's watching the Chop Shop. So make sure you share the show. We would appreciate that greatly. Now move over to amateur. We're on the back nine. Talk some amateur sports. We're going to mailbag shortly, but first stop over to the topic of NCAA football, whereas the Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, AKA also known as Sunshine, right? And went and did try to do something a little innovative, and went and he along with his girlfriend set up a GoFundMe account, which would be designated to help a lot of the victims of COVID-19, this pandemic. So in doing so, stuff got a little complicated because shortly afterwards, that it was reported that the NCAA had shut down the fundraising attempt due to a violation of rules, because that means, in other words, boosters could have been funding that GoFundMe, and that's a violation which conflicts with the NCAA's eligibility rules, amateurism rules. So, and even in this type of stuff, that's why the NCAA always gets so much flack when it comes to common sense issues. So, right after the end, they were informed by the compliance person at Clemson, informed somebody who informed them, and they pulled the plug on the GoFundMe page, which had raised a little bit over $2,000 at that time. So then the girlfriend released this statement. Unfortunately, Trevor cannot be a part of this anymore due to the compliance and some rules, so he can't help out anymore. Also, we have to take down the GoFundMe page. So we just want to apologize and say that we are really sorry if you thought your money was going to a direct family, because it no longer can. Right? So then it didn't stop there. The NCAA, right, came out yesterday afternoon after they had already pulled the plug on the site, and they clarified and rolled the compliance guy under the bus and say, yo, we didn't squash Trevor Lawrence's efforts to raise this money. The Clemson compliance department is the one who told him to do that. We've never issued him a statement and had yet to reply. As a matter of fact, we're going to give him a waiver, an approval to do so if he wants to do so. Well, the damage had been done. The GoFundMe was taken down. So now this is how, once again, a fine mess. Who's to blame? NCAA, Clemson compliance department, or a person who may have jumped the gun, may have gotten spooked, right? So the NCAA statement, specifically in their statement on yesterday evening, they say the NCAA did not ask Trevor Lawrence to take down his fundraiser for COVID-19 patients and their families. We continue to work with member schools so they have flexibility to ensure that the student athletes and the communities impacted by this illness are supported. And we applaud Trevor for his efforts. You know, when I read it off the paper, sometimes you ever read something, you gotta look up and just get the paper and smell it. Look, it smells like some bullshit, don't it? That stink. NCAA, that stinks. If anything, that was an opportunity to galvanize not just Trevor Lawrence, the entire Clemson athletic department, and say, you know what, we have an idea. You guys can go on and proceed, but let's do it all. Make it be the football program. Let it be the whatever. Now y'all can do it together as one. Not we support his efforts. There are a lot of people out there, and I shared with you guys at the top of the show about my sister. My oldest sister in Louisiana is in the ICU right now. She is doing day number 2.5 of 14 days as a result of COVID-19 symptoms. Her test results have yet to come back, but she already feels is that, you know, she's going to make it. The fever has been subsidized and has been flattened. But my point is, guess what my sister told me yesterday when I asked her, because somebody asked a question earlier today we forgot to get to, Adam. That's why I'm trying to loop back around to this. And somebody on the Boom Boom Room asked, how can some tests come back in 1 day and some in 3 days, some in 5 hours? Well, those are different types of tests manufactured.
And then, Jimmy, is according to the workload that see, you got to understand, you can take the test, but it's got to go to a lab. Certain labs have more, certain labs can get it back quicker than other labs. It ain't gonna happen immediately. If you know, like you get a blood test, you know how they send it over to the lab. It's a lab test your results, and it's according to how backed up the labs are. You know, sometimes you might not have a backed up lab, and sometimes you do. So that's the way it was explained to me. You know, it's just like lab work, anything else. Yeah, all I do, them guys outside, and when you go through the little triage, they swabbing you, they putting your stuff and naming it and tagging it. They send it to a lab. Then the lab come back and they see your results. So it's all good.
Well, they have some that's 45 minutes but they hadn't yet. Those are some tests that will be out that will have results in 45 minutes for this thing. But and this for the COVID-19. And however, my point is, I asked what I was trying to get to yesterday. My sister informed me, because remember I told you about my family. My family pros when it comes to this medical stuff and just dealing with just seeing mom being hospitalized and grandmom back in the day, and we learned about these charges. And she found out. Guess how much the test in Shreveport at Willis-Knighton Hospital, right? Guess how much that test costs?
$1,300.
$4,000. Just for her test. Her COVID-19 test is gonna cost $4,000 that she took. And just imagine different cities, different prices, and there's some that you can go and do drive at some places you can drive through and get them for free. But
I hear some people talking about Slim Thug goes to a physician and get his in 24 to 48 hours, but Jimmy's sister took 2 or 3 days.
Slim Thug got more money than my sister.
I just explained. We don't know.
He went to his private doctor.
Yeah, but we don't. But guess what? We wasn't there. I don't know. I mean, all we going by is what people tell us. You know, I know somebody who got theirs. They says from 3 to 5 days. It came in 3 days. So it's I mean, the semantics. What are we worried about? When the tests come back? What's the problem with the test coming back 2 days or 3 days or 48 hours. What's the problem? What's the problem? You just want to know. You want to know quicker? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what the problem. That's all I'm trying to figure out.
That's like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of you guys may be able to co-sign or counter it. But the other day in Houston over at Butler Stadium, it's on the property of HISD, they gave tests to a lot of the first responders only. That's why they did not want to divulge the location, but the camera people were naive enough to have the Butler Stadium in the background. So if you've ever been to Butler Stadium and you see the doggone stadium lights in the back on the other side of the basketball field house, you knew where they were, but a lot of people didn't probably. But my point is, a lot of those people had their results before they left the parking lot. They had their results before they left the parking lot. Because if you was one, then you had to be immediately, we got to go and send you home, and you got to go and sign the paperwork to agree to quarantine. So it's just one of those things. I don't know, somebody may be able to, explain that, but bottom line, guys, understand, it's economics. You get what you pay for. So if you go to your private doctor,
Jimmy, I saw that day. That lady she had symptoms. So they admitted, first responders, if you had symptoms, you had a fever, if you had something, they admitted you to a hospital immediately. That ain't had nothing to do with you got it, because the Surgeon General told you, Jimmy, 97% of the people who are, and that's the Surgeon General, not Robert Hatter, 97% of the people who have symptoms don't even have it, are tested negative. 97 of the people that have symptoms were tested negative. Now, those numbers probably rose. That was a week ago. So, I mean, I tell you what, you catch it, go get your test, and then you come back and see how long it took you to get yours. Then you'll know. You don't have to worry about what nobody told you. Somebody reported, somebody put on Instagram, somebody put on Twitter. Go get your test, and then and you will know. I mean, it's kind of simple. Sometimes we just got we got so many conspiracy theorists out here. Because we go on Twitter, we go on these some of these stuff that just, remember I always told y'all to read, but that's why I said, man, have several sources. Because you're gonna believe what you want anyway. But just have several sources, and then if that's what you believe somebody can get it instantly. I mean, get detected instantly. Cool. If you don't, they don't have to go to no lab. Well, then everybody should have that test. That should be the test everybody using in the world. But just
Which
Houston
one?
got it. The one that said, okay, you got it. Next. You got it. Next.
No, I said 45 minutes to an hour.
That should be the one that everybody in the country is using.
Well, eventually they're gonna be able to produce them. Eventually,
Rudy Gobert, millionaire, had to wait. Prince Charles, over there, he got it. He had to wait. So let's get back on sports, because we got high school sport. Let's get back to grassroots, man, because we gonna go on a rabbit trail with that.
And so now
they got shows covering that already. Got a lot of shows. What's got me is this transfer portal thing that's got me. They said, updated, now 446 names, include 99 grad transfers, are in the transfer portal. They got a guy from Radford College, Carlick Jones. He's entering. I guess I don't know if he's a guard or not, Jimmy, but he averaged at Radford. He averaged 20 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds a game. He's a guard. Kenyon Martin, his son, he just going. He's saying he going to the
He's
league.
going to the draft.
I know.
He went to IMG
I
this
know.
year.
I know. I'm just going down my list. Then I saw Columbia. First of all, Columbia's guard. Columbia. Now they in the Ivy League. They had a guard that averaged 20-some points a game. He in the transfer portal. He one of the best players in the country. Then they got a big man named Patrick Tate, becomes the first grad transfer that Duke has ever taken. Averaged 11 points and 6. So this team, Columbia, somebody go pull up Columbia's record this year in the Ivy League. These Ivy League got dudes that can play. Jimmy, they just got Duke.
Now Duke didn't get that boy. He ain't going to Duke. He going to Ohio State.
Not that guy. Not Seth Towns. He went to Harvard. This is a grad transfer. Listen to me. It's another grad transfer. That's Seth Towns. This is Patrick Tate.
Oh, that's the boy from Columbia.
Yes, from Columbia.
Yeah.
11 points a game last year. 6 rebounds. He going to Duke. This man went for Columbia, who did not hold up. You remember when we talked about the Ivy League cancel this tournament, and people were mad. It's about Columbia name was never mentioned, Jimmy, as one of the teams in the playoffs. Never. Talk about Harvard and Yale, Princeton. Columbia had 2 dudes right now that every Division I college won. Duke won one, and so I forgot who won. The guy Mike Smith. It's unbelievable the talent that's spread around this country. That's why they tell you, young man, go somewhere you can play first. Put up your numbers, then come back and get you some. Get you some. I know he set out this year, but the year before he averaged 11 points and 6 rebounds. He set out this year because he wanted to have a year of eligibility.
And speaking of transfers, let's get right into this stuff right now.
Okay.
And that's everybody. You know, is every situation is different when it comes to recruiting, and it comes to the people. You might hear the term the right fit. And however, before determining the right fit, a lot of times parents, you guys need to sit down with the kid and y'all need to really find out, because I know there's a lot of people are going to school, picking the college because of the glitz and the glamour. So that's the fit.
That's a part of it.
That's their primary. You know, man, we don't others, you know, because it used to be TV. Well, everybody's on TV now. You see how the gap that old adage, man, you go here, you get to be on TV. You know, that's back like Chris Walker. He's playing. Villanova Big East was on TV every Monday night. No other conference was on TV in basketball more than the Big East. So that was a lure for him to go and take his talents to Philadelphia. A lot of times, the right fit turns out to be the wrong fit. On the front of our website, RCS Sports, you guys can go on the front. It's totally free, no membership needed. And we have published a list which will be updated daily. And this list, is comprised of the former high school stars who were on on scholarship at Division I schools, who have entered the transfer portal. So that way you can keep a running tab of the local players who are transferring from their colleges. As of this morning, it's 16. Out of those 16, I want to say 9 of them are sophomores. 2 are freshmen. That's 11 of the 16 just got to the school, hadn't even completed 2 semesters. I mean, their 2 terms. Think about it.
Say it again.
So
how many
that
freshmen?
means out of the 16, 11 of those were freshmen and sophomores. 9 sophomores, 2 freshmen from Greater Houston. And that means they haven't even completed the 2 school terms. So that means you've already decided. So you know. No. Obviously, that's an admission that this wasn't the right fit. Now, what screws the numbers on the transfers, I really think they should have a net number and you have a gross number, because the graduate transfer, they can't go play at their own school no more. You see, if you graduate within 4 years and you get a 5th year, if you go somewhere else that offers what you want to graduate in, which hell, they'll make up. You know, that's basically what it is. So unless you had a red shirt year to play, but 16 transfers, which is low. This number is gonna. Howard, what you think the over number is gonna be this year from Greater Houston? It's 16 right now.
Oh, from Houston.
Yeah, this list is at 16.
I don't know these.
What do you think the over number gonna be? Let's set the over number right now.
I'm not good
At this.
I'm not good at this. You tell me.
It ain't a right or wrong. We're just gonna set it.
You the gambler. You the gambler. I don't know previous history.
Well, hell, I haven't judged them and marked them before. I'm just saying right now, if it's 16 right now.
Oh, so we got 16 guys that's got Division I.
That's D1. We don't count D1s right now. And I wish, and it says it on the top of there, I'm trying to comprise a list with non-Division I transfers. And I invite you guys to send an email if you have non-Division I transfer. Let me tell you what this list does. So some folk, they may say, man, that's kind of embarrassing. That ain't freaking embarrassing. These young men, these are men who put their names in the portal.
That means it's public knowledge.
It's public. So, and secondly, college coaches are calling me saying, man, thank you for publishing that list, which it includes their summer basketball, their grassroots basketball team, the last one they played for. Why do I include that? Well, I include that because that way the college coach could know who to call. Some of those grassroots coaches still have influence. And those coaches trying to find a way to get in. That's why it's important to put the high school. Some of those coaches, those college coaches or college recruiters, they may have a connection with one of the high school coaches. He might see a coach and say, oh man, that kid went to Atascocita. So that means if you had a coach at Purdue, you had success with Atascocita High School because you had Carson Edwards. That stuff works like that. And that college coach, most high school coaches are become great, positive, become good fans and a good ally of a college program that treats their kids right. Meaning that if you're going to play a lot, that coach gonna love you. What you got?
No, keep going.
What'd you find?
No, you keep going.
You see? So that's kind of like how this stuff works. You're looking at various schools, and I even put their heights on there. So that way it can help you guys or help the college coaches. That way, if you're looking for a big, you can kind of see now what grade, what their classification is. I put all that in there. That's intel that you can get on rcssports.com. And that's one of the things that we invite you guys. Guess what? And you get this on the Chop Shop. So then we look at the list. Abdul Alatishe went to West Side High School. West Side. That school holds a special place in the heart of Robert Allen. Also, he's not the only player from West Side High School.
It show do. I'm back on.
Greg Lee
Uh-huh.
is transferring. Well, he's a graduate transfer at Cal Bakersfield. So he's on the move. He's and coaches, I mean, you got CJ Washington. How about this? You got 2 players from that Katie Tompkins team that went to state, Hatter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have CJ Washington, and also you have Christian Sholin. Christian went to Georgia Tech. He's transferring. CJ went to Kennesaw State, and he's out of there. Out from that team. They're gone. We have a lot of guys, man, on that list. Jacoby Gordon, he's leaving Cal.
Did he ever play at Cal?
He played a little bit. He played. Just didn't play as much as he wanted. Remember, he came in there limping with an injury. And came there. Chris Walker was the primary source of influence to lure him to California. And guess what? You see? So you think about it. So what was the primary reason? Did you go there for Chris Walker? Did you go there because it was a new coach, Joaquin Jones? Did you go there because you wanted to play in the big Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever it's called? What was the primary? When you go back and you think about the primary, because a lot of things change. Very few players, when they transfer, is going to transfer up in level. Very few is going to transfer up. Now, meaning that I didn't say it won't happen, I say very few. That's not the majority. For example, Trevor Moore, he played at Cincinnati. He's a junior now, Wheatley High School. Trevor left Cincinnati and fish wasn't biting as hard. He ended up going to Morgan State. Morgan State, and I say going to transfer, very few transfer up, meaning that very few is going to transfer to a school, to put it like this, that have a budget that's larger than the school that you left. Put it like that. Let that soak in. Very few is going to transfer to a school that has a budget larger than the school that you left. That won't offend. That way it goes right between the eyes. Put it where the goats can get it. So,
PBS, Jimmy, I got something I want to add, because I remember it was a big stank when some people, we were on here and we mentioned, I see you put the, I'm on your site now, I see you put the summer teams that they were with on this list too. And it's so, think about 3 guys, the guys who transferred, 3 of them are from Houston Defenders, 3 of them from Basketball University, and 2 from Texas Pro. Because I remember, I think people thought we were singling out one program, but from what I just looked on here, those 2 teams, Basketball U, and the Defenders had 3 players each that transferred. I remember they talked about.
And also in defense of a lot of summer programs, you have to list the amount of players. A lot of programs have more Division I players. So if you have more Division I players, then you're probably going to be more likely to have more transfers. Some programs, you understand what I'm saying? The odds are going to be more likely that somebody from your program will transfer if you have more Division I.
Jimmy,
so that's something.
Look at these questions on there. Answer a couple of them.
What's that?
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this commercial right quick, and then
Who's the first question?
I saw somebody was talking about Jimmy. Jimmy, speak on Trina's response. Trina, go back. I think Trina had a response. Go back a little bit. I didn't see it. I'll see, can I find it? Here's the commercial. Yeah, we back. We back, baby. Shout out to Above All Sports, hoops.com, Brian Jolivet and the crew. Go to the website, check out their upcoming events. Jimmy, Trina said sometimes the reason they're in the portal is that they are not offered back, not by choice. Oh, thank you, Miss Trina. I missed that one. You put it on the screen.
That happens. That happens a lot. But then a lot of times, a lot of players are. You have different programs have what the equivalent of what you would call an exit meeting, meaning that before they go home, they meet with the coaches. They'll tell them they want them to work on, and they'll tell them what their plans is for the following season for that kid, and give them an opportunity to let them understand as man to man. That means now you can walk, or you can come on back and fight. We bringing in somebody else. He's gonna compete with you for these minutes, or it don't look like we're gonna use you a lot next year in the same capacity. And which is respectful, because it gives the coach, the player, a time enough to go and seek out a taker somewhere else. And yes, that's so that is true. That is true.
Clarence, let's give Clarence some. Clarence said it called forced transfers.
Yeah.
Jimmy, that happens though. Jimmy,
most of them are forced transfers to a degree, meaning that if I don't play you much, I'm forcing your butt to make a decision. Remember, Chris Walker said it best, and boy, that pulled my antenna all the way up, all of the years I had been in this business. And that was the one thing that I never took out the time to go and pull up the mat with the college coaches. And Chris Walker said, if, as a college coach at the Division I level, especially in the Power Fives, which most of his schools that he coached at were among the Power Five or the Power Seven conference for basketball. He says, if we redshirt you,
they like you.
Only that means we like you.
Yeah.
So that's a rule of thumb. Look at all these guys. How many of those actually redshirted? Think about that. How many redshirted last year? Not many. Of that 16. They redshirt you. That means they like you. That means they redshirt you.
Jimmy, no, these dudes don't want to be redshirt, man. I'm starting at a freshman like the rest of these guys did. I'm trying to one and done about it, this joint.
Guys, come on now, film it.
That's a good one.
Think about this stuff. And now we go to if you have questions, post them in the Boomer Room so that we can get to them. And because we only got about 20 or so minutes left. And Trey Phillips said, if you go into the portal, can you still return back or have you been released? Have you released your scholarship for the upcoming year? Remember, that was a loophole. That was in the rules last year. And it was nothing basically that the NCAA could do about it. There's nothing they could do about it. It happened last year. And what some coaches doing, if you put your butt in that portal, remember, it happened with Quentin Grimes last year. Remember, Quentin Grimes was at Kansas.
Jimmy, they told him not, Jimmy.
But they gave his scholarship away.
Like a turkey through the cone.
So remember, you got choices and consequences. That's a choice that you make. And you got to be willing to stick out your chest and accept the consequences for the choice that you make. Bottom line, most of the people who transfer, very few, I'm not going to count the graduate transfer. Most of the underclassmen, of the undergrad transfers, most of them are transferring because the MPG is not met their personal expectations. Jim, that's a common denominator. You're looking at, for most of them, I would say at least 90%.
Yeah. You're right. And Jimmy, I talked to a coach last night, right? I called him, I hadn't talked to him a while. I know he had some free time. Head coach. So ain't but 350 of them. I talked, and it wasn't Penny. This wasn't Penny. We just talked a lot. I didn't realize we were going to talk about this long, and we was just talking about stuff, and he was just talking about, because I know he had one kid that played 30-some minutes a game as a freshman and still transferred. Hey, man, let me tell y'all something, man. I know y'all want to hear this, and y'all don't. Them mammies and them daddies keep talking crazy to these coaches. It's a quick way to get yourself out of there, too. You know, and I know, listen to me, y'all. Y'all got to help me, Marcus Sloan. When your son get to college, Jimmy, can't be calling them coaches, man, about all that mess. Jimmy, I just don't. Listen to me. I'm a strong-willed, strong-mind person, my own man. But I know how to submit under authority. The coach at that university where your son is, he's the authority over your son. You have to respect that authority. And you might get a bad one. Because all 350 of them, they ain't worth, all of them ain't, they got some problems too. But that's their spot. Ain't nobody gonna come in your house and tell you how to run it. Your son playing 30-some minutes a game. And you still got something to say. Man, y'all get the hell out of here, man. Y'all get the, man, and I'm sitting there talking to him. And he's so smart. Man, let me tell y'all something. We got some brilliant young African-American coaches coming through this pipeline. And guess what the smartest thing he told me he did, Jimmy? He said he embraced the older guys. He won't embrace a Kevin Sampson. Man, the man been doing it for 30 years. He won't embrace a Leonard Hamilton. 30 years of navigating this mess. Some of the young coaches feel like they got it. They got it all. Hey, young coaches, go gravitate and get to one of these guys. And listen, sit up on him. Sit at his feet. Take the towel. Jesus, one of the greatest examples of leadership. They brought a bucket of water in, and they thought that they'd had to do something for him. He sat there and washed the disciples' feet. This Jesus, he washed the disciples' feet. And they was looking at him like, no. He said, the greatest of you would be the greatest servant. The one that want to be the greatest got to be the greatest servant. Sometimes it's good. That's why, Jimmy, I know what you be saying. That's why you said, dude, come and sit up under me and watch. Watch what happened to Doug Jones in the next 5 years. Doug, a smart young dude. He's sitting at the feet, he's sitting there watching. Sitting there watching and learning. Because it's going to be a time that Sandra said, Jimmy, man, let's go. Let's go. We got to get out of here. One of the greatest things he told me last night, Jimmy, the coach said, Robert, I went to visit my family. Had an off day. He said, but when I got up there, check this out, Jimmy, Division I coach. I wanted to be with my family just a little bit more. So guess what? I didn't come the next day. You know what I called my associate head coach and said? He said, Coach, what's up? He said, man, you got it. You running it. Well, Coach, what you want to run? Run what you want to run. Do y'all know how that much leadership? So that showed me how great a leader he was. Because a leader is not a guy who have a lot of followers. A leader is a guy who make other leaders. So when I leave, you in charge. So I mean, it's just so much stuff, and I know people have been talking on this first. Jimmy, what's been going on the Facebook feed since I went to my soliloquy?
Sloan asked, "Where's your cash app for your collection?" But
I ain't got one. I don't have one, son.
Rick Brown says it starts at home, then AAU and high school. Also, Will says, right, and this is I think our kids struggle going from the culture of pressing, trapping, learning how to play the college game of defending and being off the ball. Hurts so many kids. Basically being reprogrammed doesn't happen quickly enough. And speaking of the reprogramming, can you imagine how many times many of our student athletes in basketball are reprogrammed in a cycle? Just say from the 9th grade. You have a grassroots coach, you have a high school coach, and you many of them have a trainer, a developer, workout guy. So that's 3. Every time you switch any one of those, right? First of all, let me go back a little bit. That means the grassroots coach, when he finishes with you, when he gets you, he's reprogramming you to explain to the kid that the high school coach wasn't using you right. They wasn't playing you in your right natural position. So this is what you want to do in order to get to where you want to go to the Division I and play at a Power 5. You got to do it this. I've had so many of these. So that's part of the deprogramming, reprogramming phase. So then the trainer, well, you go to the high school coach first. It's easier. He gets him in August, September. And that high school coach has to deprogram and reprogram that player who's been out in grassroots all for the last 5 months, and explain to him, this is listen, I don't care what you're doing out there running around and playing open gym. First they're going to attack it and deflate the potency of grassroots basketball. That's what a high school coach would do. Man, I don't care about them guys. Know what they're doing. They're rolling the balls out. Now, mind you, if a Stephen Woods could know what he's doing at Hightower High School and take his team to the state tournament, that same Stephen Woods is a grassroots coach with the Houston Hoops. Mm-hmm. So, don't you think of how you're talking? When you deflate and say those guys don't know what they're doing, many of those, every single program, the vast majority of some grassroots programs of the high school magnitude, meaning the program, look at their high school teams, they have at least one coach under their umbrella that's one volunteer coach that's either a high school or a middle school educator. Let that raise that antenna. Once again, the vast majority of all programs around that programs, you have multiple teams. We'll only focus on those high school age teams. But one of those different coaches, at least one, is going to be an employee of a school district, of a high school or middle school. Now back to this 3 things. That after that high school coach, meanwhile, this workout guy, right? It's unlikely that the workout guy is on the same page and entwined with the ideology of both the high school coach and the grassroots coach. It's very unlikely that that guy is embraced by both of those.
Are you talking about top players? Because usually just regular players don't have all 3 of those.
No. Regular players got out because parents trying to pay now for that developing.
Okay, my bad. Okay, keep on going. Keep on painting your picture. My bad.
So that means this workout guy, person, is going to probably favor one of those other 2 over the other. So that means now it's a deprogramming from one or the other to coincide with his teachings, because he's teaching you something. If you were already doing whatever that he's teaching you, then why would he need to be teaching you it? Because he feels that they're not teaching you it collectively. Won't come out and say it because he can't afford to have both of them guys on his bad side. But one or the other, you guys pay attention. So meanwhile, every time, that's 3 times 4 years, this program, it repeats itself. Now, what happened when the kid changed summer teams? Whoop, that's one gone. Whoop, another one comes back. And he's now has to start this process again. You know, they ain't teaching you nothing. This is how they do when they first get you. No matter who. Man, what you was learning over there? Them dudes ain't teaching you nothing. See, they break you. That's part of the break you down process. And nobody can't. That's why you understand. They say that behind the closed walls. And nobody is willing to give the next guy credit. Everybody wants to deflate the next guy. And while you're deflating the next guy, it don't make you look good. Because when he leave your ass, guess what the next guy gonna say? What the hell was that guy teaching you?
Boy, I hear that all the time. Man, Jimmy, I done been in workouts. Well, dude gonna tell me, well, that's what they taught you over there? Man, just shut up. If you just teach the kid what you know how to teach him. I've seen that before, Jimmy. And guess what? Never came back. Never came back. But Jimmy, I was just talking about the importance of parents. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know how important y'all are in this process. I know y'all feed him and clothe him and all that. But y'all can also get him cut from his high school. You can get the coaches. You can get his minutes diminished in high school. I just told you the story of a coach. He just told me this last night. Man, that mama got on my nerve. Baby played all the minutes as a freshman. She still wasn't satisfied. Calling my phone every day. The hell out of here. Mamas, leave these coaches alone. I told you, Jimmy, I gave him some great advice, Jimmy. This how you get an edge up with the coaches, an edge in with the coaches. When you and the coach this before the season, said, Coach, I know problems arise on college campuses. I know they do. My son ain't perfect. But Coach, if you ever have a problem with him, before you constitute drastic measures, give me a chance to talk to him first. I'm on your side, Coach. Give me a chance to talk to him first. Parents, listen, it works. Worked for me. I told you. Young little kid. I had this. Robert wasn't, 165 when he went to college. Going through a drill. One of the toughest drills he ever went to. He told me it's the hardest drill he ever went to in his life. So a little bitty guard had to stop 4 consecutive stops 1-on-1 before you can get off the floor. Hardest thing for fresh, because you don't know the tricks. You got to stop these grown men who've been playing in college. You 18, 17 years old. You got to stop them 1-on-1 4 different times. It don't matter. It was a big man. It didn't matter who he was going against. He could never get nobody off the floor. So his back cramped up, Jimmy. He laid on the floor. Said, man, don't touch me. Leave me alone. You know what the coach did? Coach, call his daddy. In the middle of practice. He called me. I said, put the phone to his ear. I'm not going to tell you what I told him. Coach said he got up and got back to competing. Guess what? Wind up starting his first day on campus. 18,000 people in the Carrier Dome against Syracuse. Little bitty freshman from Houston, Texas. Because guess what? I told the coach, man, if it's a problem, Jimmy, before you take drastic measures, call daddy. I'm telling y'all, I'm not telling y'all nothing I heard, telling you something that I know. Leave these coaches alone. High school, leave these coaches alone. Leave them alone. He don't like my kid. Yes, he do. He like all of them. But Jimmy, you can, I just wanted to share that, man. That's a real story.
Well, he say he don't like my kid. No, my response to that is, so you think the coach trying to lose on purpose?
Yes.
So if he lose,
say that one more time, Jimmy. I like that. Coach Woods finna go lose on purpose. Coach Greg Wise finna go out there and, man, have y'all?
Because he don't play your kid. That means because the opposite thought is the initial reaction is, or the action is, that coach don't like my kid. That's why he not playing him enough. That's why he ain't playing him. So the coach want to lose on purpose. Right now, by not playing your kid, that means he's trying to lose on purpose. But the coach winning. So whatever the coach doing, that don't mean he don't like your kid. Just that you didn't do enough homework before sending your kid to whatever the high school may be or whatever the college may be.
Jimmy, you doing homework? I thought you supposed to go to the school that you live in. You doing homework on the college, the high school you going to?
No, you got open enrollment in a lot of schools have open enrollment. As a freshman, a lot of schools have open enrollment, a lot of districts out there. So, and if you're watching,
open enrollment mean what? Because you remember they had a tizzy over here when the young fella openly wanted to go to Hightower, and them people over at Shadow Creek got mad.
But I mean, if you live in that zone, in that district,
you can go to one of those schools.
You can go to any school there. If you live in the zone where the school is underperforming, then you can go there as well. You see, meaning if your school is underperforming, according to the TEA or whatever, then you can go to another school. So that was basically the basic essentials. And some of you guys as an educator may fill in a gap or two that I may have missed. That's the basic rule of thumb to open enrollment. An adjacent school district that has a low performing school or whatnot or situation, or and if you get accepted into like a magnet program at this particular school, then you can get in through open enrollment. So that's, I mean, and so that's not go back to the rule, go back to saying doing your homework. A lot of people, what's your primary? Let's say, for example, we can use Jack Yates. Okay. If you have a kid in the 8th grade right now, you want to go to Jack Yates. Why? Because Joe Young gonna get a whole team some headphones. They're gonna wear 5. They're gonna have 5 different sets of uniforms. They're gonna have 2 or 3 different sets of Nikes. It's a brand new school. And is that what you want to go there for? If that's your primary, then it may have to be readjusted to understand you could go there and still not play.
Right.
So are you willing? What happens if you don't play? Remember our little young fella. Yates had a kid we saw and we met him and laid eyes on him during the Southwest Exposure.
What is his name?
Johnny Carswell.
Carswell, yeah.
He's about 5'4", guys, I swear. But he's fun to watch.
Oh my goodness.
He's gonna probably be the starting point guard of Jack Yates next season when the ball go up in there. He's gonna probably be the starting point guard.
Man, don't put that pressure on that kid.
I say probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Probably is a lot, Jimmy.
So he ain't gonna he probably won't be no taller than 5'6" by the time next year come around. Now, he transferred to Yates. Didn't play varsity. Got ruled ineligible. But that was part of the consequences of the choice. So my point is, so now if you don't play, do you leave and go to somewhere else? No, you got to stick. So he made a choice to stick it out. Probably gonna pay out for him. Because next year, Jack Yates is going to Hawaii. They've been invited to play in the prestigious Nike tournament. Remember they went back 10 years ago and they played in Hawaii and won that tournament? Then went over to Alabama and won over there. Then went and route to going 40-0. That's where Yates is going next year. They're going to Hawaii. So understand something. You understand once that news gets out, I just broke it out. I broke on the website maybe a week or two ago. But if there's a kid that's thinking about moving into Houston, or parents may be moving, for high school, I understand colleges, mind you, nevertheless colleges. But for a high school, it's telling you that you come and play for, they ain't got to tell you that. When the word get out, you go and play over here, them dudes going to Hawaii next year. You think that won't lure? That's not an influence. They have a Nike package and they going to Hawaii for Christmas, for the holidays. Right after Christmas, that week after Christmas. So think about this. So that means a parent. If you're a parent, Hannah, your son get ready to go to Hawaii, if he gonna go with, what you gonna say? You gonna go to school A? That don't mean it's gonna be the deal breaker for anybody. But I'm telling you, It's going to get your attention at least for a second to say, wait a minute, they going where? They going to Hawaii. You gonna look at your work schedule.
But Jimmy, let me let all them parents know, if you're thinking about that, don't go over there trying to tell that man there about playing time. I'm just telling you, parent, I'm just helping you out. Your little 8th graders, the 7th graders, anybody who's thinking about 9th grade trying to go to Yates, check your ego at the door, parents, mama and daddy. Coach Wise ain't thinking about that over there, boss. He's the most fairest man I ever met in my life. But he's gonna run his program. You're not. And that's how it should be, parents. And I just love them parents. You know, one of these days I want to talk to one of these parents to try to run everybody's team. And, you know, Jimmy, you got some parents out there to tell the kids, man, if you would shoot more than LJ Crowder, you'd be the star. If you would shoot more than Reuben Jones, you be going to North Texas. Dude, parents, don't work like that. Don't work like that. I remember Reuben was a freshman. Reuben wasn't this Reuben. Greg made him into Reuben. Reuben worked. Kuzma Leaks made him into Reuben. And guess what? I'm just me watching his progress. I think the best is yet to come. Wait till he gets some of that college coaching in it. Wait till he got to stop them four upperclassmen in a row, Jimmy. Jimmy, if you've never been through it, Rick Brown and a couple of people know they've been through it. Jimmy, if you've never been through it, Jimmy, it's one-on-one. They can just power your little ass and put you in a rim anytime they want to. And you got to fight. Coach trying to see how good your fight is. Is you going to be able to come back the next day? So, but that's a great topic. And I know we're going to cover some more of this tomorrow. And, just parents. Jimmy, I love the analogy that you use. And I think it was missed out. Those three, I call them 3 caps. You know, the caps you wear, the hats you wear, Jimmy. Yeah. What you said, high school coach, summer coach, and the trainer. Jimmy, in that, the parents. Jimmy, you can't leave out the parents.
What I mean, we were talking about the parents are definitely part of the equation, but in that topic, we were the context was deprogramming and reprogramming.
I got you. Okay.
The parents aren't normally in that process normally, unless your dad serves as one of those others already. You know, unless he's involved in the capacity of assistant workout guy, the assistant summer grassroots coach, or the assistant head coach. Then he's in that process. Because if he's in that process, if the parent has to deprogram you, then one of those other three, especially two of those other three, may be at risk of getting replaced. If a parent realizes they got to deprogram and reprogram their kid to protect them from something that one of the people that they are paying to watch over you, then your ass better get replaced. Just think about it. So that's pretty much it. And shout out to Doug Jones. Make sure you say go check out the VIP news today on RCS Sports. He take a blast to the past and will be visiting certain teams of recent years who went and won state championships from Greater Houston. Today, talk about the Bush Broncos of the class of they want to say 2010. Yeah. Cameron Ridley was a sophomore that year. He came out in 2012. So Bush Broncos 2010, while Yates stole everybody's thunder while they went to Austin, well, Bush was also there and won the state championship. And beat Bel Air. That was the infamous year that Bel Air lost to Bush
on an inbound
play. On an inbound play with less than 1 second remaining. On an inbound where the young man was wide open and hit the layup in the paint. The guy missed the assignment, and they upset Bel Air. And that was in a couple of months later, Toby Oyedeji was killed in the car accident while leaving the program. So that year was definitely, and Coach Glover, it definitely knocked a hole in his heart after that series of
Did you see what I got you on the screen? That's for you. Yeah, I know you ain't looked at the screen. Somebody got you a bowl of that thing waiting on you as soon as you get off the air. Kevin Freidman. Hey. If he texts me one more time, time I put this picture up, hey, do me. Everybody else ain't got my number. Hey, don't text me.
I'm going to try. Huh? I'm going to try. I'm going to put the 6-foot rule on his ass. I'm going to go get me a boat. I'm going to try.
Jimmy, tell him to just hand it out the door. Don't go in there. Don't go in that house.
He got a puppy. That puppy might get it. He got a puppy over there.
No. You go to the door. Say, man, just sit it out there and close the door. You get it and get in your car and get the hell out of here. Like I did my sister last night.
You know what? Frank got a puppy. I might take Kobe with her. Frank, your puppy a boy or a girl?
You can't be taking your puppies around, man. Hey, man.
They say the puppy can't catch that.
Dude. I ain't talking about the puppy catching it. Hey, I got a new word.
Man, Kobe.
Jimmy, I got a new word. You notice I did not say social distancing today? You notice I've been saying it the other days? I don't want you to social distance yourself from anybody. I want you to physically distance yourself, but always stay socially connected. Everybody, I'm going to repeat that one. I should have said it at the beginning, but listen, we just want to be physically distancing yourself. But I always want, man was not built to be alone. One of the worst things in the world, Jimmy, that you can do to a man in prison or and put him in solitary confinement. That's the worst punishment in prison. I know you ought to be shaking your head at that one because I done studied up on my prison stuff. So Jimmy, physically distance yourself. Don't socially distance yourself. I had to go see my sister last night because I hadn't seen her in a while, and but I've been physically distancing myself. But I went and socially communicated with her last night. So that's my new word: physically distancing, not socially distancing. What you got, Jim?
Yeah. When I was looking at and Todd Holmes, he said that dogs they can carry it. I'm like, well, reason where I got that from was we took Kobe to the emergency room yesterday morning at about 6:30, and at the vet in the emergency room, they said that that's where the news that's where that came from. The vet, the doctor said that they have no proof that the dogs can get it. So I don't know. Maybe I don't just go from there.
Jim, they trying to get me to come play golf right now. You know my favorite thing is, can I get my own cart? I got my own Lysol. I'm gonna bring my light. I got to be able to have my own cart. I'm not riding next to now one of you you ninjas. So he know a Jolly Vet trying to get me to come out there, Jimmy. I got to have my own cart, and I'm gonna spray that thing from head to toe and wipe it down before I get on. I'm just telling you. So
guess what? Meanwhile, it's time to yabba dabba do this thing. I want to give a shout out to over at the gym to Nissa and a lot of the ladies. We've called at the top of the show for Women Rock Wednesday. Yeah. And
Nissa.
Thinking of a Nissa.
Okay.
Right. And who's those five again? Giving them five.
Nissa, Tyandra Holmes, Nissa Ville, Jessica Brooks, Lori Dawson, and Mindy Collins.
And happy Women Rock Wednesday Day to those ladies and their families. Speaking of Anissa, Jerry Levy,
yes,
the owner of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basketball facility located over in Northeast Harris County. He's retiring.
From where?
I mean, he's retiring. He had the gym up for sale, and he's retiring. And you know, fish are biting. That thing has 4 courts, and on it. And Jerry, you know, 15 years. I didn't realize it's been that long. It's been 15 years that facility has been open, and it's been a lot of stories that transpired. Remember, this place, they house college games there. That's the place where Christian Life with DeAndre Jordan and all those used to practice at. A lot of coaches now used to work out of the gym. You know, and from Melvin Marks to Kevin Woods to, I mean, a lot of coaches, a lot of the pro-am guys used to go there and play. So a lot of the stories, what we're gonna do is expecting to get a good convo in an effort to just, you know, share some of the stories, what happened in the gym and what it takes in the because a lot of people are interested, I've noticed throughout the years, of building facilities.
Jimmy, this is great.
If you're one of those people, Jerry is expected to join us tomorrow. And I told her, Jerry, you got to give up some of the game and let us know. And Jerry going to tell you about what it costs, what goes into the cost of building / operating those types of facilities. What goes into why he's deciding to sell. Because I was going to say, well, Jerry, this business down. Well, of course, everybody's business down during this month right now, but they're booked up. He did share, they're booked up like 85%, 90% of the dates in 2021. So, and even during the weekdays for slots. So we're going to talk about that stuff. And with Jerry, and just give him a goodwill send off because he's been a pillar of the community in that part of the Humble ISD for years, on the board of the education board and all that. So we're gonna talk with Jerry on the morrow for a little while. And also, so prepare your questions if you have any in regards to facilities. A lot of people have tried and died with facilities. Build them, go foreclosure. Build them, they go under. You know, and then you think about talking about building a 4-court. Next thing you know, a guy building a 1-court or a 2-court. This stuff is not easy to do. So that's that and a lot more. But anyway, guys, it's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing for this Women Rock Wednesday. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. And you gave them the winners from yesterday already. With tomorrow at the top of the show, we'll share the 5 people who had the 5 most comments on today's show. At the top of tomorrow's show, we'll give you your shout out as well. So shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you for supporting the Chop Shop. Make sure you share the show. Remember, we're streaming simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube. Mm-hmm. That's unheard of. Live. And conversations are going on both of them.
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve. So shout out to that. Thanks so much, guys.
Jimmy, I got a word. I got a word for today. I'm gonna leave them with too. The problem with being talented is sometimes people can be so excited about your gift, they take your gift and leave you behind. Don't let nobody leave y'all behind. So Jimmy, you can take us in with that one, Jimmy.
Yeah, man. See, hey, I already told you it's time to yap that those thing now. Time me to crank it up and go see if that's some gumbo or some yumbo. I'm gonna let you guys know tomorrow. Terrible. I'm gonna tell you that. We'll know tomorrow. Yeah. Chop shop.
All right, we out.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it.